Hi everyone, this is Sumit Srivastava once again on my show in conversation with Sumit Srivastava, and I'm really happy and proud to have Mr. Mahavir Sharma as my guest today. We all know that he is one of the pioneers of ecosystem of Rajasthan, and he's the person who had made to become the president for Thai Global. You know, so जैसा मैंने अपने इस वीडियो के ऊपर लिखा है कैप्शन में दैट डिस्कशंस होने चाहिए, कॉन्वर्सेशंस होने चाहिए और इससे ही हम अवेयर हो पाते हैं. सो मेक अस अवेयर ऑफ दिस एंटायर what's going on in this entire ecosystem, what's his perspective on this ecosystem, how it is growing, because he's seeing things since long and since beginning. So let me have him on the screen first and then we'll start our conversation. So hello sir, hello, good evening.
Hi, Sumit. Good evening. How are you?
First of all, sir, thank you so much for taking out time. I know your schedule, still you make time for us. So
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to you. So, sir, without wasting time, because मैं ज़्यादा time आपका नहीं लेते हुए, so we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and of
Mm.
course this video will be there to for future reference as well. So, sir, before starting anything, I just want to know from you, because you are active in regional, means at the Rajasthan level, then national, then global, right? You understand the ecosystem, how what's going everywhere. So मैं तीन पार्ट में चीजों को बांटना चाहता हूँ कि how do you see the entire startup ecosystem? Because this is very important and questions जो भी मैं पूछूंगा उसको अलग अलग pieces में मैं लोगों तक पहुंचाने की कोशिश करूंगा, because these all questions will be very important. सो पहली चीज की ये जो इकोसिस्टम जैसे ग्रो हुआ है ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, ग्लोबली, नेशनली एंड रीजनली. जब रीजनली की बात करें, हम राजस्थान की बात करें, बिकॉज यू बोथ बिलोंग टू दिस प्लेस. सो आपका ओवरऑल टेक क्या है अगर आप कंपेयर करें, ग्रोथ का रेट देखें जब से आप देख रहे हैं स्टार्टिंग से. सो प्लीज टॉक अबाउट दैट.
So, as you know very well, that the startup ecosystem is a very dynamic ecosystem. It's fast evolving. It's fast changing.
ट्रू.
The only difference is that it is changing faster and rapidly across the world,
राइट.
followed by how it's changing in India, and followed by it's probably the slowest in Rajasthan, and I think it's taking time than what it should have taken. But it's changing, it's improving, it's adapting to what is required. So that change is quite evident. Why is it changing? And it's very simple. More the competition, the faster is the change.
राइट.
More competition creates, startups to pivot, startups to evolve, and the worldwide the competition is much higher. So from countries all the way from China to Israel, Germany, Ireland, US, Canada. There is such a huge plethora of startups. The
True.
competition is much stronger. So the startups from India that are competing with global startups have to be far more agile, far more active, far more adapting to change. So that is why that scenario is quickly changing. And for quite some reason, as you know, technology is adopted quickly, changes very quickly. Within India, it's not bad, it is good. I mean, there are cities that are doing very well. I think Bangalore, uh, Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi NCR have been evolving a lot. They are quickly adapting. Quite a few new startups and new technologies are being adopted. New things are being embedded into existing startups. So I think that is there. But still, I think world over, if I see what's happening across outside of India or within India, there is a difference. And Rajasthan, of course, because Rajasthan-based startups are either move to the cities that I just mentioned, or if they decide to stay in Rajasthan, they're kind of not there, in my opinion, at least the ones that I come across. So it's not as rapid or as quick as it should be. So I personally feel that change is there, but less in Rajasthan, more in India, and the most across the world. It is going to change. I think it's a matter of time where before Rajasthan or the world or India or whoever adopt. It's a dynamic world, but I think if I worry about Rajasthan, I think the startups in Rajasthan have to quickly adapt and learn, acquire new technologies, have new talent, and work there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Okay, okay. So, sir, if I ask this question in one line, that what basically is stopping the ecosystem of Rajasthan in growing fastly and comparatively? If I compare with other cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, so what is stopping? What challenges
I
are we
think
facing?
I think it's talent. It's basically talent. I think so. Let's take example of AI. I mean,
Okay,
AI is such an important element in today's domain. No matter what field you are in, from agri-tech to med-tech to e-commerce to whatever you do in technology, having AI embedded or installed in whatever you are doing, or ML, is very, very critical. And I don't think Rajasthan has the right talent. Everyone uses these words, but people are not able to kind of use that to the optimum level. So that talent sits from technology colleges outside of Rajasthan. Talent sits outside of India also at times, and I think there is a lot of migration of talent. And I think a lot, though India has within India, lots of AI ML talent does exist, but it's concentrated in Bangalore. It's concentrated in Delhi NCR. It's not spread out because there's lots of opportunity there. I think other fields and other domains pay them good money, or their peer ecosystem, even if their co-founders exist. So it's just that Rajasthan does not have that talent. It's basically that nothing else.
okay. So, sir, see, there are so many ecosystem players in Rajasthan. You know, we are also working aggressively on the ground. We are working with the startup across India. There's so many other players also who all are working. Startup Voices, I Start. I mean, they all are really working well. So and we all consider you as our mentor because you know you have already. I just said that you are one of pioneers of this ecosystem. So, what will be your suggestion for all of us that how we should work to help startups grow, and also the problem which we are facing, the talent and everything, what all we can do to fill that gap?
I think what we should do is like any startup. Or so, for example, you have to use your strengths. I think Rajasthan's strengths lie in social impact, in agri, in improvising crafts sector, in improvising such elements of sector. And once you have a deeper understanding of these sectors and you evolve into something that is usable across domains, then you can purchase or you can outsource AI, then you can outsource ML. There are companies who are it's
Yes.
then it you can enhance the experience through these technologies, and that is what is needed. In Rajasthan, I mean, I'll give you an example. So AR VR in furniture, in furnishings, in handicrafts, in farming sector is all very easy. That's not difficult. But when you are trying to create an experience that is beyond something, you need to embed AI ML, because you want to make sure that once you've done something with a certain sector, it should evolve, and it should see what the user wants to see or user wants to use on your platform. That's when you need to outsource that AI ML bit of it. Similarly, going forward, there will be blockchain, there will be logistics and supply. All these are Rajasthan can do a great job in all of that, because talent is not expensive. Creating codes, creating coding, trying to solve the last mile, stuff is very easy. But you have to outsource beyond the points, and that's what Rajasthan should be doing, or startups from Rajasthan should be doing.
Very well said. Very well said. This will really be helpful for all of us. Now I'm coming to the next question. You must be tired of hearing this, listening this question from all of us. You know, so I'm again asking. You know, because this is very important, because we're dealing with so many startups. We're facing this question every day. So answer coming from you will be more credible. So, sir, my question to you is. There's so many startups who all are willing to reach out to the investors, for funding, and at some level I believe funding is very much required for a few startups, specific startups. So what's your suggestion when one startup should reach out to the investor for the first time? I mean, what should he be prepared with before reaching to the investor for the first time? अभी तो क्या है कि आइडिएशन पे आते ही वी आर लुकिंग, आपको भी कई लोग अप्रोच कर देते होंगे, बस आई जस्ट
Yeah.
वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड यू या।
So yeah, I'll give you a live example. Yesterday, I had someone reach out to me, and they were trying to raise money for a startup. And I said, you're trying to raise, let's say, 1 crore right now. And before I go to a panel of investors, what is the value that you have brought in? Do you have IP? Do you have traction? Do you have a platform that is growing? Do you have revenue? Do you have profits? How will you value your company at 9 or 10 crores for you to give away 10% equity that you want to? He did not have an answer. So unless the valuation of your company is in line with what money that you need, and
राइट।
valuation, as you know, comes from domain, comes from the team that you are in, how many co-founders who have experience or whatever their past is or their degrees are, what they have achieved. Is there any IP? Is there POC? Is there market traction? Is there month on month growth? Is there profitability? All these things are very, very critical on different sectors. So once all these combined gives you a valuation of 10 times of what you are trying to raise, that's when you should go um, to raise money. If you can't justify a valuation of the 10x of the valuation that you are trying to raise, there's no point trying to go to a startup unless you have an IP. It's very simple formula. After answering this many times in many ways, I've come to this conclusion. If you can convince yourselves and the investor that you are 10x of what you need, you should go to the market.
Perfect. Very well said. Very well said. I think this is the best line. I'm going to, take the piece of this video and share this also across the social media. Okay, so I think sir has disconnected. So we should wait. Just I'm sure I'm going to repeat this once again. जब आपको ये लगे कि आप जो फंड लेने जा रहे हैं उसके 10 गुने आप हो चुके हैं, you're 10 times of what you're asking for, then only you should reach out to your the investor for the first time, और तब इन्वेस्टर आप इंटरेस्ट लेंगे और आप इक्विटी भी एक रीजनेबली उसमें वो कर पाएंगे। आई थिंक सर इज बैक, सो या।
Sorry, I don't know what I pressed. Something happened, or maybe the
No,
Wi-Fi.
sir. So I got an opportunity to repeat what you just said. I translated that for the audience.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, very well said, sir. So बहुत सिंपल है, एक लाइन में अगर बोले तो जब आपको लगे कि जो आप फंड लेने जा रहे हो उसके 10 टाइम्स आप हो चुके हो with facts and figures.
हाँ, तो
तो
आप 10 सोचोगे तो इन्वेस्टर उसको 7-8 करके आप 12-15% पे कहीं पे जाके नेगोशिएट होके वो बात बैठ जाएगी, बट फॉर यू इन योर माइंड इट शुड बी एटलीस्ट 10x.
perfect, perfect. Very well said. Very well said. So now, my next question, sir. This is again, and I want to be, and I want you to be honest on this. We can take it on a lighter note as well. So I know many startups must be reaching out to you every day, every month. LinkedIn पे यहाँ वहाँ सब जगह मिलते होंगे. So you must be finding a few very much promising, a few very much irritating. So how do you handle that? एंड कौन से होते हैं, क्या चीज आप जब देखते हैं तो आपको वो प्रॉमिसिंग लगते हैं और आपको लगता है कि चलो अभी वैल्यूएशन नहीं है, अभी ग्रोथ नहीं है, बट दे विल ग्रो, कैसे वो अप्रोच करते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि फ्यूचर है इसमें, एंड अ फ्यू जिनको देख के आपको लगता है कि भाई इस तरह से अप्रोच नहीं करना चाहिए, इस तरह से यू शुड नॉट कम दिस वे टू अ पर्सन लाइक यू और समबडी। तो
So
थोड़ा सा मैं चाहता हूँ, दिस इज वेरी
yeah,
इंपॉर्टेंट।
yeah. So I probably get hundreds of proposals every month. But luckily for me, I wear two hats. One is Thai, and one is as an angel investor.
ट्रू।
So as an angel investor, it's very annoying and it's very frustrating when you get startups that are not even worthy of discussion. And it's very, very difficult, and sometimes you do end up losing patience. But as Thai, where our mandate is to mentor, to handhold, to try and see if future startups can be created and promote entrepreneurship, I take that stage and I start to mentor them, and I politely tell them at times what is wrong with them or why it will not work. And sometimes they do understand, sometimes there is an argument, they don't understand, and I mean, beyond a point, I can't I leave it at that. And but quite honestly, I am luckily I don't lose my patience that easily, since most of it is on email. I don't come on a call unless I see the potential, which is a very small number. Normally, it ends up being a business plan, email exchange, and either I say no, that this is why it's not investable, or that I'm not looking at this sector. Or if it is investable, then I would like to look at numbers, valuation, money required, cash flow, and then take them to a next level. And then I have a small committee that I have created around me for Rajasthan Angels and for Thai India Angels, and then we I bounce it off them, because sometimes when you're in the middle of everything, your judgment gets blurred, or you some sectors excite you and you get biased for or against. So that's my bouncing board. So that's how I come up with the solution, and so a filtration process exists in my mind, based upon my experience, based upon the various hats that I wear, and a small committee that I have created, and that's how it is taken from there. And that's what I end up doing. I don't get angry, or I don't get frustrated, or I don't lose my patience, because I think every startup, every individual who is trying to make an effort, and he or she deserves the right direction. It's just that we are lucky to be at an age or a time with some gray hair, so might as well show them the way. And if that can help someone and if not dishearten someone, that's the way it should be.
Perfect. So, sir, because of their persona, because of your persona and your aura, there's so many people, there's so many young startups who all are, scared of you. Do you know that?
It comes with that. I tell you, at times I'm very, very blunt and rude, and I think I'm doing it for their good. Sometimes
Yes,
I'm very, very,
that's what I
yeah,
wanted
yeah. So
to.
what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so you have to be. I mean, when I say I'm being polite, I don't mean that I would not be honest with them.
Yeah,
Many a times I have to be brutally honest with them, and that does come out as very shocking at times and very rude at times, and that's what instills fear in them. But I don't think. See, you have to understand. If I'm not honest to what I'm doing, no one would value my opinion. Then it would not work. So, and I'll tell you, in comparison to when I see other people who are wanting to invest, I think I'm still more of an optimistic and a lenient person than what others are. Others don't even respond. So I think a response, one way or the other,
right.
saying why this would not work, or the valuation is too high and I don't think it's the right startup and it will not work, or cost of customer acquisition is so high that this you will not survive even if you have a good idea. Whatever the one line reason is, if people who do want to know the reason, and I feel have the courage to evolve and changed based upon my opinion, I do give them my honest opinion, and it is brief, because you don't have time. I can't write a paragraph on why it would not work. It has to be one line, two lines, whether verbal or written. It comes as little curt. So it does create a lot of fear, and obviously, time is precious. Time is precious. Their time is precious. My time is precious. So I tell them, don't waste your time trying to do this. And what I basically mean is that you're wasting my time too. So without saying that, you have to convey that in one way or the other, and so that fear will be there, and it should be there. So despite
It should be there.
being,
It should be
yeah,
there.
it should be.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, then you will end up, wasting your time and their life. If you ask me honestly.
Yeah, yeah. But the objective of asking this question was to make people understand that whatever sir uh, tells you people, he always become honest. So why he is doing all this? Because of your benefit, because of your good, because if you get to know that fact, the truth, it will be easier for you to plan in future. So that's really great. Sir, एक चीज मेरे सामने आई है इन दिनों में काफी, I got to meet a few researchers from BITS Pilani or Vanasthali. There are so many people who are doing research. They are working on some really really promising projects. If अगर वो बन जाए या अगर develop हो जाए, it will be beneficial for the society, the industry, everything. They got patent in multiple countries, not only in India. But now when they have to start the production or something, they need funds, right? So at that point of time, they are stuck and they are looking for funds to start that, right? They got everything. They got recognition on various platforms. They got patent, IPR, everything has been done. But now they are looking for fund to just start. So at that point of time, those kind of people, how should they reach out to the investors? Who could be the suitable investor for them? So would angel investor will come into picture in this scenario? So I want you to make us understand, and through this, I want to communicate to them.
So, are you talking about idea stage startups with some technology and IP?
Yeah. So they have already, no, they have done the prototyping. They have done the testing. They got the patent done in multiple countries. So now they have to start the production to become, profitable or whatever, commercialize the thing.
So there are
So
multiple, yeah. So there are multiple things. So if it's IP, if it's patentable, they can come to us.
mm,
Rajasthan Angels can look at them,
okay,
and that's one option. Otherwise, there are grants in place. There are options that you can they can use through colleges, through government aided grants, which are doable. I presume this is in the small vicinity of 10 to 25 lakhs is what they probably need.
yes,
I
initially,
think
yes.
funding can come from government aided grants. Funding can come through state level, if Rajasthan, government of Rajasthan has a policy where they can apply, they can go through their college, and they can also come to small individual angels or Rajasthan Angels. Startup Oasis has similar, if it works in their craft sector or impact sector. I think Startup Oasis with CIIE has a certain. So, thus say 25 lakh for getting a POC and going to go to market kind of a thing is doable at a much easier level. Your approach should be different, and that is what is doable, manageable for people coming from technology colleges or have done a lot of R&D in labs and have a MVP ready, which is required for the industry, any industry for that matter.
If somebody wishes to reach out to Rajasthan Angel for such projects, what will be the way, sir, how they can reach out to Rajasthan Angel
So just,
Network?
just get in touch with, LinkedIn is a great platform. Just reach out, search Rajasthan Angels, go on the website and write on the website.
Okay,
Search for whoever are the key people on Rajasthan. Reach out to anyone through LinkedIn, directly chatting with them. I normally respond. So I mean, I think normally people do respond through this thing, and I think LinkedIn is a great platform now that we're on it.
perfect. I think this was really very important. So sir, फोर थिंग्स, चार चीजें हमने डिस्कस की अपने ऑडियंस के लिए। मैं बता दूं जो भी व्यूअर्स हैं और जो आगे भी देखेंगे कि सबसे पहले चीज के स्टार्टअप्स को कब इन्वेस्टर्स के पास जाने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम व्हेन दे थिंक दैट व्हाटएवर दे आर आस्किंग दे आर 10 टाइम्स ऑफ दैट। अगर आप जितने भी पैसे मांग रहे हैं उसके 10 गुने अगर आप फील करते हैं, और फिर उसके बाद भी इन्वेस्टर आपके साथ नेगोशिएशन करेगा, सब कुछ करेगा। बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सर टोल्ड अस अबाउट द व्हाट राजस्थान एंजल इन्वेस्टर, सॉरी आई एम सो सॉरी, Rajasthan startup ecosystem is facing, what are challenges we are facing, and how things are happening on global level. And also we discussed about that कब किस तरह के स्टार्टअप्स को ही अप्रिशिएट्स एंड कैसे उनको लगता है कि ये स्टार्टअप्स को किस तैयारी के साथ आना चाहिए। आई थिंक दीज आर द वेरी बेसिक, सुनने में बहुत बेसिक है, बट ट्रस्ट मी सर, यू मस्ट हैव दिस एक्सपीरियंस कि जो मैंने बातें जितनी पूछी है, ये 1000 बार करने के बाद भी ये प्रॉब्लम्स रहती है और रहती जा रही हैं, बट हमें बार-बार इस पे बात करनी ही पड़ेगी, एंड इट विल डेफिनिटली हेल्प स्टार्टअप्स,
No,
नाउ सर सर
before I
सर
go, I mean, I think you are doing a great job through multiple mediums, and your support system and guidance helps us get filtered startups. If you did not exist or people like you did not exist at the ground level, it would not have startup ecosystem would not have seeped into as deep as it has into Rajasthan. I think you're doing a great job, and I must thank you. We get filtered stuff, and you kind of screen a lot of startups before they come to her, and you are partly the reason why people fear me, because you create that fear in them also.
very well said. I think this credit I would like to take. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was really great. This credit I would like to, I would love to take.
Yeah,
बिकॉज वो डायरेक्ट पहुंच जाएंगे तो वो भी कहीं नहीं जाएंगे, आपका भी टाइम वेस्ट होगा, और हम तो किसी फील्ड रहे नहीं किसी काम के। सो दिस इज
I agree. I agree.
रियली।
I agree. I agree with you.
सर एक लास्ट में मैं पूछना चाहूंगा कि बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स हैं ऑब्वियसली जो देख भी रहे हैं, आगे भी देखेंगे, हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, सब लोग हैं। एक जाते-जाते बिकॉज़ 30 मिनट्स का टाइम स्लॉट मैंने बुक किया था और बहुत शार्प हम उसी पे खत्म करेंगे, 1-2 मिनट ऊपर जाएँगे। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि ओवरऑल आपका सजेशन, एक क्लोजिंग रिमार्क हमारे स्टार्टअप्स के लिए, जो भी देख रहे हैं, इट विल रियली हेल्प देम। सो प्लीज़ टॉक अबाउट दैट एंड देन we'll close this.
Well, I think the startup domain is very lucrative. It's very interesting. It's very challenging. Um, it's you should pursue it. I think you should have uh, a process to do it. You need to have a good team around you. You should have a well-rounded of 360 degrees covering technology, covering marketing and branding, covering operations, and some a team in good team in place. Then identify the right thing that all of you collectively can do, and then try to create a path that is of minimum bumps and hiccups and that other people have not done. Just don't work backwards. Start from ground up. See if you are solving a problem for multiple people, multiple entities at both ends, supply and demand, and also if it's B2B, B2C, and it's solving problems for many people, and it's a win-win for everyone, and you are truly creating a model or a process or whatever you're trying to or a product that can be used from multiple angles by multiple people. And I think that should work, and be ready to put in your time, energy, money, not just for 6 months or the first fundraise or the second fundraise or the series A fundraise, but for life. Think of that as your ticket to go public. Think of that as your a proposal or a business that you want to scale up and make a unicorn or even larger. That's your fundraising is just one thing that you have to do amongst 100 that you are needed to do, but that should not be the end of everything. You should just continue to make sure that the business works, and you should be passionate about what you're trying to do, and I think that's what will make you succeed.
वेरी वेल सेड, वेरी वेल सेड। सर, स्टार्टअप्स को तो आपकी हेल्प की ज़रूरत हमेशा रहेगी ही और वो आपको आपके पास आते रहेंगे, बट आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव दैट पीपल लाइक अस who all are working on ground to support startups, the ecosystem, we need your support by all means. And you are already supporting. I mean, your response rate whenever I text you, you immediately or within 5-10 minutes you respond. So इसी तरह से हम बहुत motivated होते हैं जब आप जैसे लोग हमारे साथ होते हैं. So I'll be seeking your support in future as well, and very soon we'll be meeting in person as well. And
Absolutely, absolutely.
so क्योंकि अकेले हम भी कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे, and we need your support, and we also we don't wish you to come on the ground and work at our level, because yes, that has to be done by us only, otherwise it will be a great challenge for us. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much. It was really nice conversation as always. So thank you very much. You please enjoy your dinner, and I'm sure you are at your guest place, and you're talking to me. So thank you so much. Enjoy.
Apologies for being late by a couple of minutes. Some
Well,
technical
sir,
issues,
well,
but
sir. Thank
it's
you so
always a pleasure to talk to you, Sumit. All the best.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Means a lot. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. So, viewers, thank you so much for joining this conversation. It's always a pleasure talking to Mahavir Pratap Sharma ji. I'm going to brief. I'm going to give the crux of this conversation. Number one, when I asked कि राजस्थान startup ecosystem क्यों उतने स्पीड में ग्रोथ नहीं कर पा रहा, कंपेयर अगर हम कंपेयर करें बेंगलुरु, हैदराबाद और ग्लोबल स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम से, तो एक ही चीज़ निकल के आती है, टैलेंट। और दूसरा सॉल्यूशन ये है कि जो स्ट्रेंथ है किसी भी इकोसिस्टम का, पहले हमको उसको एनकैश करना चाहिए। सोशल इम्पैक्ट, क्राफ्ट, दीज आर द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ राजस्थानी स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम। ऑल्सो आई टॉक्ड अबाउट व्हेन स्टार्टअप शुड रीच आउट टू द इन्वेस्टर्स। बहुत अच्छी बात बोली कि किसी भी तरीके से आप जस्ट आइडिएशन स्टेज में न जाके, reach out to them when you feel that you have become something, and for that you need to work on the ground, you need to spend money from your pocket as well, you have to bootstrap। और जब आपको लगे कि जो पैसे आप मांगने जा रहे हैं उसके 10 गुने आप हो चुके हैं, टेक्निकली कहने का मतलब है कि 10% स्टेक आप डाइल्यूट करके देन यू आस्क फॉर मनी वट एवर इज रिक्वायर्ड। थर्ड, एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैंने पूछी सर से कि जो भी बहुत सारे लोग रिसर्चर्स हैं जो पेटेंट करा रखा है, पेटेंटेबल प्रोडक्ट है, एंड दे आर विलिंग टू स्टार्ट प्रोडक्शन एंड कॉमर्शियलाइज देयर प्रोडक्ट, नाउ हाउ दे कैन गेट सपोर्ट, इनिशियल सपोर्ट ऑफ फंडिंग। सो ही क्लियरली सेड दैट देयर आर सो मेनी people who can help. There are grants. There Rajasthan Angel Investor Network can also help. So I would also suggest people who all are doing such stuff. और जिनको मैं personally जानता हूँ, I'll reach out to them and tell them that they should reach out to the RAIN or Startup Voices, or there's so many government funded uh, places who can help those kind of startups जो अभी पेटेंट करा रखा है, रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, now they want to go for yeah. So thank you so much everyone. I hope it was helpful for all of you. Have a wonderful evening, and अगले सेशन में, अगले वीक में, अगले एपिसोड में किसी और डायनेमिक पर्सनालिटी के साथ I'll be there, and I'll make sure all conversations will help a startup ecosystem. Thank you. Have a very, very good evening to all. Bye bye.